Well, we head to our next final, and we will now be going on to Minimax. Let's take you through the starting grid for the 11-minute plus an additional lap superheat here in Ampfing. Finn Albert Jorgensen will start from pole position in the 185, and joining him on the front row will be the 125 of Julian Dummer. Kimi Mai and Pascal Knip in the 150 and the 165 round out row number 2, ahead of Bendik Schulte and Sebastian Pand in the 139 and the 181. Luan Seidel in the 137 will be joined by Savos Sotos Francia in the 116, ahead of Hanga Lucas Sarkani and Anastasia Tuli in the 174 and the 120. They complete the top 10. Tim Hansler, Emir Sierkowska, Lina Greif, Lennart Köster, Livia Maria Ploch and Iacone Luis rounds out the 16-strong grid for this particular encounter. Finn Albert Jorgensen, the youngster from Denmark, has won every single race so far this weekend. And, well, with the way that things did transpire after the heats, well, it's become an 18-point lead for the youngster from Denmark, ahead of Luan Seidel in the number 137, who starts from 7th position. An 18-point differential, 422, plays 404, with Julian Dummer moving to 3rd in the championship on 394 after everything that has transpired so far over the course of the day. But it is going to be Finn Albert Jorgensen that is going to look to make the best start possible here at Ampfing. So, sunshine bathes the circuit here in Bavaria as the lights are red and ignited on the gantry for one final time for the Minimax drivers, as they will hit the halfway point of the season come the end of this race. Into the tram lines we go. Revs rise, lights are on and lights are out a first time. And it's the run down to turn number 1. There's a bit of a squeeze just behind the race leader, Finn Albert Jorgensen, as they all stream their way into turn number 1, and a bit of a side and a hip check, a one over the other. That was the 165, I believe, that just had a big moment, went a little bit wide. Pascal Knip being one of them, starting in 4th place. As now the field makes its way through into the infield section. And this is going to be very tough for the drivers behind Finn Albert Jorgensen, who has a lead of around 4 to 6 kart lengths going into the chicane on this opening lap. And with warmth comes tyre temperature. There's going to be a change for 3rd place through the final corner as Jorgensen leads. Dummer in 2nd. Luan Seidel up to 3rd, ahead of Kimi Mai. Bendik Schulte, Sebastian Pand round out the top 6. But a disaster for Pascal Knip on the opening lap through the opening corner. Drops the 165 all the way down to 14th place. But Finn Albert Jorgensen knows he's not out of the woods quite yet. But, well, we have got yellow flags. Oh, right, we've got one off on the infield section.
144. Köster.
Oh, Lennart Köster, who gets quickly off the circuit and walks away to the marshal. That is, I'll be completely honest with you, yes, one of the marshal team is going to move that kart out of the way because that is dangerously close to the curbing. There will be so the marshal will need to get that kart out of the way. There will need to be a yellow flag, which is being shown as we speak. There's a bit of side-by-side action coming through. The drivers cannot overtake through this part of the section. Double waved yellows now out there. So Lennart Köster out of the race. No relation to Luca Köster by any chance. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I might have to DM Luca, who now these days, I still remember when he was flat on the throttle coming out of the final corner in seniors at Mulsen in the final. It was wet. He went sideways. Both sidewalls clattered into the barrier, and he still put the throttle down and won it. So I might have to say, I'll just say, are you related to him? We might find that out later on. You never know. But in the meantime, here's Sebastian. Finn Albert Jorgensen doing exactly what he needs to do. Control the race at his pace.
Ja, Finn Albert Jorgensen macht hier vieles richtig an diesem Wochenende. Aber auch Julian Dümmer scheint hier sehr stark unterwegs zu sein. Für ihn sind es ja jetzt auch schon 2 zweite Plätze. Und das ist das beste Saisonresultat in diesem Jahr. Und er ist dran an Finn Albert Jorgensen. Und jetzt nur mal so für als Information für Sie, Luan Seidel, der bekommt das Ticket nicht, da er als Schweizer nicht berechtigt ist.
Yes.
Finn Albert Jorgensen als Däne ist auch nicht berechtigt, das Ticket am
No,
Ende zu
which
bekommen.
means that Gillian Dummer is the one leading the way for the ticket to Sarno.
Exakt, so ist es. Also für Julian Dümmer läuft dieses Wochenende sehr gut, da Maxim Becker nicht nur das Wochenende ein bisschen verwachst hat, sondern dieses Rennen gar nicht erst starten durfte.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, because that's why we have these national championships. Because when you go to, like, say, the International Trophy at Le Mans this year, which is happening in early July, then you go to the Euro Trophy. They're considered the international competitions, whereas what we're doing here, folks, is it's a national road tax championship. So, like, say, for Motorsport UK, that's for the British. You've then also got the Irish RMC now, which is in the juniors. I know Rory Armstrong is currently leading the run for the ticket, and he won Minimax at the Grand Finals last year in Bahrain. But move and change for second. Dummer has just been passed by Seidel, who's squeezing him. And look at the gesticulation between the pair of them. Boys, you want to go for the race win? Stop squabbling. Get after Finn Albert Jorgensen. Put your toys back in the pram and go for it.
Beide waren sich so uneinig. Beide waren der Meinung, der andere hat den Fehler da gemacht, gerade auf Start und Ziel. Deswegen beide mit jeweiliger Handzeichen Richtung des Konkurrenten Julian Dümmer und Finn Albert Jorgensen, Luan Seidel war es dann. Beide konnten sie weiterfahren. Erstmal ist Julian Dümmer jetzt als Zweitplatzierter geführt. Und das macht er auch gar nicht so verkehrt. Das sieht ganz gut aus. Vorne an der Spitze, Finn Albert Jorgensen. Ja, ohne Probleme. Hält er sich da im Moment auf?
Yeah, with an advantage of just under 0.7 of a second. I mean, and he's just put in the fastest lap of the race. Oh, right. Now, have you noticed that there was one driver missing off the grid?
Ja, hatte ich gesagt.
To be honest with you, it was only a matter of time before something went awry, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely right. Maxim Becker fehlt uns hier in diesem Rennen. Es war ein bisschen vorherzusehen, dass es irgendwann dazu kommen würde. Es steht DSQ, also Disqualifikation, daneben. Das heißt, er wird die Starterlaubnis nicht bekommen haben seitens der Rennleitung. Da wird sich die Rennleitung also dazu entschieden haben, zu sagen, weißt du was, für das Verhalten, was in Genk und auch hier in Ampfing irgendwie nicht so wirklich funktioniert hat, machst du mal eine Runde Pause.
Yeah, I think sometimes it just sort of gives the driver a kick up the proverbial backside, so to speak, as if to say, look, you need to change your approach. And the thing is, we also know that families can vicariously live through their children. And his dad is just as passionate as he is. A lovely character, but you get on the wrong side of him, you find that there is, in every person, there's always some form of aggression that does come out. But the biggest thing with a championship like this, it's not just the driver that's under scrutiny, it's also the team and any family or friends that are part and parcel of the paddock. So, and I've had it before where one driver's dad actually physically threatened somebody, which I went to that person and went, no, you don't. You're out, effectively. I said, because someone could report you to the stewards right now, which they're entitled to do so. It's actually part of the sporting regulations in any karting championship or any motorsport championship thereof, that if the family gets involved, repercussions can be had for the driver that's entered in. But meantime, Finn Albert Jorgensen is being closed in ever so slightly by Gillian Dummer. The time has come down. It's about 4/10 between first and second. And what's more, Gillian Dummer on that Birillard chassis has just put in the fastest lap of the race. The only driver in this race that has gone through and gone under 48 seconds. So Finn Albert Jorgensen is now getting the hurry up. from Julian Dummer, and Luan Seidel makes it the top 3, covered by 3/4 of a second, with 3 minutes and 20, plus an additional lap to go. And what's more, Sebastian, even better, we've got wonderful sunshine with us right now.
Ja, es wird richtig spannend werden da vorne an der Spitze zwischen Finn Albert Jorgensen, Julian Dummer und Luan Seidel. Denn auch Luan Seidel müssen wir damit einrechnen. Den Drittplatzierten, der hat sich nämlich auch herankämpfen können, gemeinsam mit Julian Dummer. Und hier sehen wir es im Bild, dann auch mal eingeblendet. Julian Dummer, das ist der Zweitplatzierte mit dem Birel-Kart, das ist das rot-weiße. Versucht sich jetzt außen herum, das Spielchen kennen wir, das wird nicht funktionieren. Jetzt vielleicht mit ein bisschen mehr Schwung gegen Finn Albert Jorgensen, wieder außen herum. Er versucht die Lücke zu schließen und jetzt ist Luan Seidel da. Genau das, was man erwartet hat. Luan Seidel wird versuchen, die Lücke irgendwie zu schließen und bei einer Gelegenheit wird er da reinstechen. Erst einmal Julian Dummer, der weiterhin an der 2. Position rangiert. Luan Seidel bleibt Dritter und vorne ist es Finn Albert Jorgensen auf 1. Aber wieder einmal ist es die Mini-Klasse, die wieder extrem viel Spannung mit sich bringt. Es sind noch 15 Karts im Rennen. Es geht zwischen 3 Parteien, zwischen Finn Albert Jorgensen, Julian Dummer und natürlich Luan Seidel, der aus der 7. Position in das Rennen gegangen war, um den Sieg hier im Finale.
Oh, 84 thousandths was the distance between the transponders between Finn Albert Jorgensen and Julian Dummer. Luan Seidel is is holding back a little bit here, and I know for good reason why, because any wrong move, but there goes Seidel, timed it to perfection through turn number 4. The youngster from Switzerland gets through on the 125, so Seidel now leads the train behind Finn Albert Jorgensen. And what's more, this is giving the Undane the opportunity to pull away. And again, he's doing that. He has just been calm. He's been all smiles, as Finn Albert Jorgensen. So is his dad, Bo. In the meantime, Bendik Schulte has got a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision as we go on to lap number 12. I think 3 to go, including this one.
Gelingt es Julian Dummer, nochmal vorbeizukommen. Nochmal beide vor ihm, sowohl Jorgensen als auch Seidel. Die kämpfen zwar mit ihm um die deutsche Meisterschaft, ja, sie kämpfen aber nicht mit ihm um das Ticket nach Sarno zum Weltfinale im Dezember. Deswegen,
Oktober.
Im Oktober, Entschuldigung, im Oktober.
Nee, keine Sorge. Ja, das habe ich schon hier geschrieben. 19. bis 26. Oktober in Süditalien, in die Nähe von Napoli, bei Mount Vesuvius, sind wir schon wieder erstes Mal seit 2019, aber mit einer neuen Herausforderung für die Fahrer. Der Strecke ist etwas verändert seit 2019, aber mit 2 Runden jetzt bis zum Schwarz-Weiß gibt alles gut im Moment bei Finn Albert Jorgensen, der Führende von Dänemark, der 185 mit einem Vorteil von knapp unter 3,5 Zehntel eine Sekunde. Ja, das läuft für ihn und mit Sonne und dass es ein bisschen mehr heißer bei der Strecke wird, ist es ein bisschen mehr angenehmer für die Reifen und ein bisschen mehr bequemer für die Fahrer mit den Reifentemperaturen sozusagen. Ne?
Ja, es hatte vorhin mal ganz kurz angefangen zu regnen. Das blieb dann aber auch wirklich nur bei ein paar Tropfen während des DD2 Masters Rennens. Jetzt ist es wieder komplett trocken. Die Sonne ist draußen. Wir haben über 20 Grad Außentemperatur. Perfekte Bedingungen also hier an diesem Wochenende. Und das sind Luan Seidel und Julian Dummer. Julian Dummer und Luan Seidel kommen sich in die Quere. Ende, Start und Ziel. Und für Luan Seidel ist das Rennen sogar beendet. Jetzt bleibt bloß irgendwie da stehen, dass das da stehen bleibt. Das rollt doch jetzt bitte nicht zurück auf die Ideallinie, oder?
Oh. Thank goodness for the marshal running on the scene very, very quickly indeed. But it would have been great to have seen it be as it was. They didn't need to facilitate that, but checkered flag, clean sweep once again. Tussentuck, but Finn Albert Jorgensen, the Dane, has done the clean sweep. He follows in the footsteps of Conor Haufer and Sebastian Brandt and the recovering Pascal Knipp. Pascal Knipp was out of the race after a hip check on turn 1, lap 1, and he rounds out the top 3. But you know what? I'm so pleased for this young Dane. When you look at who's come from that country, the man who's won the most ever Le Mans 24 hours, Tom Christensen, Jan Magnussen, son Kevin, amongst others. And I've got a feeling that if someone signs this young Dane, we could have another one from Scandinavia in the echelons of global motorsport. But Finn Albert Jorgensen wins, Sebastian Brand second, Pascal Knepp rounds out the top three after disaster for both Luan Seidel and Julian Dummer. Dummer crosses the line in fifth behind Kimi Mai. Luan Seidel out on the final lap at the first corner. Bendik Schulze finishes sixth on the road, but will be demoted a further 5 seconds back, which will put Schulze, has now been amended to 10th place. So Tim Hansler takes sixth, ahead of Hangaluka Sarkani, Anastasio Turi, Stavros Sotos Francia, Bendik Schulze, Iacone Luis, Lina Greif, Livia Maria Ploch, and Emir Sierkowska rounding out the 14 finishers. Luan Seidel out on the last lap, Lennart Köster out on the opening lap, and Maxime Becker not taking any part in that race. Well, that rounds out the morning's action after two exciting initial finals. We're going to have the celebrations for the podiums for Micro and Mini Max, but very shortly I'm sure that we'll be heading down to Sebastian Vauer down in the interview zone, and the racing will continue later on today here in Ampfing at 2:20 as DD2 Masters kickstarts the business end of round 3 of this year's championship.